recency bias is crazy. I think I may have watched my favorite movie of 2026 within the first week of 2026. I watched 6 movies in the first week of the new year, and one of those movies is a movie that came out in 1996. So maybe there will be a 30-year anniversary release of Fargo, directed by Joel Coen, in theaters later this year. I hope so. That would be really exciting to be able to see a movie that I fell in love with almost instantly after sitting down and putting it on. I think I was streaming it on HBO Max, so shout out the streaming services for letting me indulge in what seems to be like one of my favorite movies I've watched at least in the last 10 years. I gave this a 5 out of 5. It felt like it was meant to be. This movie and I were a match made in heaven. There's something so homey about the setting being in Minneapolis and North Dakota, where there's the Midwestern accent, don't you know? You betcha. And it just feels homey. It felt so good in a movie that is really not that good at heart. And it's hard for me to put into words how moved I was by this. It's 98 minutes of just fun in a dark comedy thriller that it just works from start to finish. All the characters are captivating in some way, with William H. Macy playing Jerry Lundegaard, a executive car salesman in Minneapolis, and for some reason he is down on his luck with money and he needs to extort money from his very wealthy stepfather. So he hires Peter Stormare and Steve Buscemi to kidnap his wife, and the rest that ensues is just absolute utter chaos, it feels like. The standouts in this movie, I mean, I don't think that there's a bad performance in this. You have William H. Macy, like I mentioned, Steve, like all the characters and actors that I already mentioned do such a good job at playing the exact role that they were meant to. Steve Buscemi is the conniving, more, I think, brains of the operation, if you will, between the two criminals of him and Peter Stormare, where Stormare's the brawn. He's the one that'll bring the hammer down and just get it done if he needs to, at whatever cost that might be. William H. Macy, although he is kind of an unlikable character, there's something about him that's endearing in a way. Everyone feels so grounded and homey. And again, it, I think, has a lot to do with the setting. The Midwestern accent, it functions as a way to bring you closer to the characters in the world of Fargo. And I like the tease at the beginning where it says based on a true story. And I'll let you be the one to debunk whether or not you believe Fargo is based on a true story. If you happen to watch this after seeing this, that's awesome. Please come back and comment what you thought of this movie. Like I've mentioned already, I gave this a 5 out of 5. An early front runner for my favorite movie of 2026. If I had to put this in a list of the movies that I watched in 2025, where I did put out a video earlier this week where I ranked all 25 movies and talked about them a little bit, I'd probably put this at the top of the list. This was, I think, of the last calendar year, my favorite movie that I've watched, and it impacted me so quickly. It stuck with me. It's still sticking with me. I can't stop thinking about it. And again, the large part of this is the characters just feel so alive and so real. And I was skeptical of how Frances McDormand's character would play a role. Marge Gunderson, she is the police chief in Brainerd, North Dakota, where part of this story takes place. And watching this, I knew she was in it. Like, I play movie grid stuff and movie pyramids and play Star Wars Actoral all the time, and Frances McDormand comes up pretty often. And Fargo, it's a pretty well-known role that she's done. Not having seen her in the first, I guess, act of the movie, having her character introduced, I was a little confused, but she slams it home. Every moment beyond her introduction, she is lightning in a bottle on the screen. She is magnificent as the police chief in Brainerd, where she is this well-to-do police chief with a husband at home that they're expecting a child, and it's this very sweet relationship, but she is nose to the grindstone, I feel like, type of chief that goes out there and gets the job done for the betterment of her community. And I think that that goes a long way for the moral compass of the story of where do you find yourself in terms of the morality of this film. And Marge Gunderson is the guiding light to the good of this movie. You have, I think, the chaotic neutral of Steve Buscemi and the chaotic evil of Peter Stormare's character. I think you have, I don't know if I could call William H. Macy chaotic good, because what he's doing is not good by any means. It might just be like kind of like neutral bad. It's a weird thing to think about. I just can't stop kicking myself for not having seen this movie earlier. I mean, I've seen No Country for Old Men. I can't think of another Coen Brothers movie off the top of my head that I've seen, but this is, I don't know how you can top this. And now I have this expectation of what a Coen Brothers movie looks like. And admittedly, is my litmus test for them pretty low? Yeah, I don't think I have enough say in the conversation. I think liking Fargo is a pretty base level read on the movie. It's very well reviewed. It's very liked. It's critically acclaimed, but it really does have its merits. It does stick the landing in every way possible. I'm glazing this movie into oblivion at this point, but I don't care. This movie does function exactly how you want a dark comedy thriller to work in the Midwest in the winter where it's snowy. Like, just everything about the setting just makes the story all that much better. I cannot implore you enough and encourage you enough. If you have not seen Fargo, directed by Joel Coen, released in 1996, starring Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi, Peter Stormare, and Harvey Presnell, who I have not yet mentioned up until this point, who, if I'm being honest, I wasn't super familiar with going into this movie, but he knocks it out of the park as Jerry Lundegaard's rich stepfather. I implore you to watch this movie. You should absolutely watch this movie if you have not. It's 98 minutes. You got an hour and a half to burn. Watch Fargo, because you're going to have a hell of a time with it. And you, like me, should watch more movies going forward. And that's my goal in 2026, is to pass 1,000 movies. Follow along, subscribe if you are new to see my progress throughout the year. I needed 172 at the start of the year, and I'm well on my way to 1,000 movies watched. Follow me on Letterboxd. I'm over there. It's just Lanjo, same as the YouTube channel. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next weekly recap of what I watched in week 2 of 2026. What do you guys think is a better performance from Steve Buscemi? Is it in Fargo as Carl Showalter, or is it Mr. Pink and Reservoir Dogs? Let me know down in the comments.